I get my hair cut tomorrow.
You're on then. And Vice Chair, you are on.
Okay. I'd like to open the meeting. Roll call
Chair Watson. Vice Chair Howe.
here.
Commissioner Bachman. Commissioner Hunter.
Here.
Commissioner Smith. Commissioner Stilter.
Here.
Commissioner Nguyen.
Here.
We have a quorum.
I would like to state that Commissioner Smith did come in and she was unable to attend today. And she had put that in to, I think, Clerk Vetter last week.
So we do have a quorum.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes, or are there any corrections or adjustments to be made? Corrections?
I didn't have any. I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. So, if we have any public comments, they must be related to the agenda item, and there's a 3-minute time limit. So we have one item on the agenda, which is consideration of possible agenda items for the future planning commission meetings.
I need to note that this is a request from the chair.
Thank you.
That agenda item was a request from the chair.
So, right.
So has anybody heard from her as far as?
Nonsense.
Okay.
And we have an idea if she had any agenda items that she wanted to add? No.
I do want to, are we talking about this agenda item?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do want to make a couple of things clear. In our code, everything that's listed as the duties. The only thing that isn't application driven is the comprehensive plan. That's done. So all of the other items are really application driven. And then one of the other things I want to, a point that I want to bring up is our duties say that we may have a monthly meeting in our code. It's the word there is may. So if we don't have an application driving something,
Why do we have a meeting?
right, I think we need to be clear that what's the process for canceling a meeting if there's no action items, but
I have a comment question on that. So town code says may, state statute says shall.
where did you find that? Because I couldn't find it in the CRS when I was looking last week.
I pulled it up on my other computer.
I was going through it, I couldn't find it, but I wasn't looking very hard.
I think that's what came up when Bill was on the commission and Suzanne and Peter, that we needed to have one every month. Because,
But I will also say when my computer is loading up, looking at both the town code and the CRS as far as duties, I would definitely agree that the main function of the planning commission is to respond to applications and be responsible for the master plan. In town code, part the section 2-6-20, part 6 specifically talks about any and all powers and duties set out by state, except that nothing herein shall permit the planning commission to make amendments or changes in the zoning of the town. Such powers expressly reserved for the board of trustees. I think that's knowledge.
Now, I believe that process is for like a rezoning. We initially hear that recommendation and give, we hear the application, then we give a recommendation to the board of trustees. Either favorable, unfavorable, or no recommendation at all. I read my statute book because that's what I have
It's probably
everything
gonna be quicker than.
earmarked.
We already started, and so right now we're just looking up, we're discussing if there's nothing on the agenda, then we're looking at the state statute. Because according to our bylaws, if there's nothing, you don't need to have it. Was our ordinance. So,
Okay, Stefan, it's 31-23-204, CRS.
Okay.
The commission shall hold at least one regular meeting in each month.
Says, the commission shall hold at least one regular meeting in each month. It shall adopt rules for transaction of business, shall keep a record of its resolutions, transactions, findings, and determinations, which record shall be a public record. The question becomes, with everything being application driven, aside from this comprehensive plan, master plan, what's the purpose of holding one regular meeting a month if there's nothing to go before the planning commission?
I would totally agree with that. It might be worth asking Attorney Buckner
Yeah,
about that.
We're gonna consult him, for sure.
Yeah, so my question is, I mean, I'm not averse to, we don't have meetings, but what we've had in the past is planning commissions that only meet once or twice a year. And there were planning commissions that didn't even know their role when they did have hearings. So I was thinking, if nothing else, the planning commission could have just, let's go over how we handle this situation, you know what I mean, just for training purposes maybe, but I mean, I'm not trying to make work for ourselves, but I'm just trying to bring up some issues I've seen with that.
so when is our organization day? When we choose chair, vice chair, secretary, that,
I don't think we have a day defined. It does say in state statute that there should be, the term of the chair is 1 year.
okay. Because it would almost seem like we would set a reorganization day or an organization day and have that annual. And then we would set up a training after we have that organization day.
And also when members change, we need a training day, I think.
That makes sense. We can plan those things out.
we did have a training last year.
Last year we did.
But it was a joint training, really.
Right.
It was. And we could have a training.
Yeah, I know, but they're always kind of eclipsed by other things where the planning commission is, and how many members actually showed up. I know the zoning board of adjustment is supposed to join in with it and nobody shows up because it's not mandatory. So,
We could make it mandatory, right?
Yep.
That's,
I think that's a good idea. The trainings really helped with at least the board, the town board. It made a wonderful difference once we got some training.
and one of the big things is a comprehensive plan, right? And we've been intimately involved with this most recent one. so we're aware of what's in it, but future planning commissions may not be, and so that should be part of that training. I mean, I just read an article about Hotchkiss where none of their planning commission were aware of the update in 2018. They didn't know what was in it, and they're starting this, this update process again. So it's probably a good idea to.
And that's
Yeah,
something
training.
I'd like to see too, is just given regular meetings is an annual review of the comp plan, because it is supposed to be a living document.
We're supposed to do
Yeah.
that, right? So
Okay, so I have a question, this just in general. So when people want to approach the planning commission, do they have to have an application for something? Do they have to pay to approach us about something? Or is the planning commission isn't a body where people can just come and ask questions or
Correct.
something? So they have to actually have a paid appointment basically with the planning commission to get on the agenda.
they have to have a business before the planning commission.
Okay, and that would be, they'd have to pay for that. We don't meet for free. Like a hearing or a review.
Yeah,
Or a variance or a special review or whatever they.
Right.
Yeah,
So and if there is something that somebody wants to bring forward, they can always bring it to the board of trustees and it'd be sent to the planning commission. And that costs nothing.
okay. Unless it's something that's.
Oh, rezoning
different, that's
or-
costly.
Right. Or special use review, something like that. Subdivisions, right? Those costs.
You know what, I really think it would be interesting though. I mean, and this is kind of along the lines of training, but all that we've ever had is like ethics or ex parte communication. But I really would like to start learning about what subdivision rules are, what annexation rules are. And those are things that those are in our purview, something that we could be learning about, like, no flagpole annexation, X number of property has to be, yet you can either, you can't annex people unless a certain percentage of properties, some of those little rules, just so we understand as planning commission members and citizens who are involved in the government, some of the topics that over which we
Annexation really, I don't think that is part of our, we would review it for zoning and subdivision.
okay.
But we don't make that final decision. That's a board of
Okay.
trustees.
I kind of pulled that example out of my hat, because I haven't looked up specific instances that have to deal with the planning commission, but it would be interesting to know exactly what the roles of the planning commission are, what the statutes that apply to the planning commission are, just so we all kind of know what our place, what our purview is. Just kind of being educated.
I mean, if you look at that sheet of paper in front of you that Lynn handed you, so that's section 2620, which is out of the town code for the purpose of the planning commission. And it's pretty specific as far as master plan and chapters 16, 17 of the code, which is zoning and subdivisions. And then the last part says that planning commission will make except nothing herein shall permit the planning commission to make amendments or changes to the zoning of the town that's expressly reserved for the board of trustees. And then state statute just speaks in detail to the makeup of the commission and the master plan.
Yeah, well, I have to review that again. So it says all powers and duties set out by state statute. So, I think it would be good to have that down, like this statute refers to planning commission, this, and this. And the reason I'm saying that is I know when I got on the board, the DOLA was actually, Elise Castleberry was our DOLA representatives, and we were given like statutes that specifically pertain to us. It was quite interesting where you could go and read things in the statute about what pertained to your job, but that wasn't the planning commission. So So here, to study and recommend appropriate zoning classifications for all annexations to the town. I mean, just learning about the zoning classifications, you know, it's like there's just so much, I think. And I mean, we might be kind of smart because I know Rick's been in town government. Lucy, you've been in for a while. I have. But you know, there are people that could possibly be on as planning commission members a year from now, 2 years from now. And everything we do is educational for everybody. And that's where I'm not trying to make work for us, you know, even if it was at every other month or something. So it wasn't, if monthly seems too difficult, or even every 6 months. But that's where I'm thinking about, that's where I'm coming from with the training, because I have seen planning commissions that were really woefully under.
Totally, and I mean, I definitely think it makes sense every time we bring on new members,
Yeah.
right? To have that
Yeah.
kind of
But all
a
they
meeting and training
yeah.
and discussion, but I don't know. I
They
don't
just
know
talk
that I
about
agree
ex parte
that-
communication, and
Well,
it's more
that-
general, the board though.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We don't have to, we can change that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But something
Um,
that's more planning.
Yeah, like I understand that
Guys
the
do.
training has been focused in other areas, but what I would say is if we're creating new policy, new procedure for the commission as a whole, things that I would like to see are an annual review of the master plan,
Yeah,
or training whenever we bring on new members.
yeah. I've seen some really good booklets from other communities about what the role of the planning commission is. You know, they have it and they offer it to the public, you know, it's printed out and people can see the flow chart of the processes and where the planning commission. So I mean, I'd be curious to see what other communities do too.
So we made one of
And
those
what's
for
the-
all new members, all new planning commission members. It was a spiral bound document that we gave out to everyone.
The handbook, it's the
Is it-
master, it's the chapter 16 and 17,
It,
basically.
it included also the comprehensive plan, the 1996 plan as well.
Yeah,
So it was every document, it was every ordinance or code that was relative or to the planning commission, to things that we would review.
I'm just saying flow chart, for instance, you know, simple things where people understand what the processes are. And I mean, I'm just not saying that we have to do that in our meetings, but I just think trying to make it more understandable and accessible to the public, the role of the planning commission. Because the more the public's informed, that's future planning commission members too. And yeah, but I'd be interested to hear what Clay Buckner has to say, you know, about the meeting and statutes.
I would like to hear that from the attorney, I agree that we should meet regularly, but I also think that there should be an avenue for canceling meetings if there truly is no business. But I wouldn't want to violate any statutes, so I think we need to discuss with the attorney.
I could have stayed at work longer. I made it a 10-hour day instead of a 45-minute day.
I take your point very well, and I've served on the planning and zoning boards for, this is my 13th year. And some of the boards were woefully uneducated on what they were supposed to do. And especially in the first, when I was starting out, a lot of the zoning boards were, well, I know him and he's a good guy, so we're gonna let it go. And that went on for a long time, and that's what really spurred me to run for county or for city council. Because of that, it just wasn't fair and it wasn't right. The statutes and regulations ought to apply to everybody equally. That's the way it should be. So, yeah, I think an outline, we have an outline coming for planning and zoning. It's gonna be new coming up, I think. It's a questionnaire for people that want to be on the planning and zoning, and it also outlines the duties. And I think that's really a document that needs to be handed to each person that wants to be an applicant, and they need to answer that questionnaire. It'll give you an idea of what you're doing. A lot of people think that you get on a board and you got a lot of power. As a matter of fact, you have probably less power than a citizen. You have to make decisions according to the law and the regulations, and that's the only way that can be done.
Okay, so we've thrown some ideas out there.
What is this agenda item mean?
Consideration of possible agenda items for future planning commission meetings.
I think I need a motion to take to the Board of Trustees. I move to ask the Board of Trustees to ask the town attorney for clarification on CRS 3123-204 organizational rules of the planning commission.
I'll second that. Okay, any discussion? 2 seconds, okay. Yeah, discussion. So one thing I do want to point out, and that is what was the document? It's one of the planning organizations, and they were saying it's really important for planning commissions to have like a close relationship with the town attorney because we can so easily get sued. As, I mean, they're thinking of land use things, obviously. But I'm kind of curious about, this is another question for the attorney. Do we need to get board approval to, as a planning commission, to ask the attorney any questions?
Yes,
Where
that's
does it say
spending,
that?
that's spending money, and we have no right to spend town tax dollars
So we don't have a
without going
budget?
to the town board.
We
That's how it
don't, we
has-
don't have a budget?
We do not have a
The
budget.
tree board has a budget, but we don't have a budget.
You know, to be clear, the tree board does not have a budget. They have items that they can ask for within the budget, and that this decision for trees is me, and that's by our town code. So that there's a big distinction there, but can I call the vote? Is it within?
Are you saying calling the question?
Yeah, calling the question.
Okay, well, I just put that out there. Anyway, but yeah, you're welcome to call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I think I have another motion based on this discussion here. Let me form it. I think I have some more discussion. So I think what happened, I don't remember if it was a resolution, but there was a vote of the Board of Trustees on, like a,
Of the.
no, it was a flow chart on who could ask questions of the town attorney and incur that cost. I think it was in 23, maybe?
I think it was later than that.
Was it 20,
I think it was
24?
24,
Okay.
but I can't remember when or how to get it out of the minutes.
Now, I certainly believe that the town attorney should be at anything that we have applications for, right? Any sort of land use, he needs to be here. Or a representative from the attorney's office.
I have a question. I thought the attorney changed from being a contract employee to a town employee. So doesn't he have a salary at this point if he's not a contract employee anymore?
He does, but there is still that resolution that says who has the authority to ask questions of the town attorney to make work for a staff employee.
And as a town council member, I cannot just call the town attorney. I have to go through channels, and the general channel is I would ask either Stefan or the mayor,
Or 3 of you.
or the 3 of us get together and do it, but
It has to be at a meeting.
it'd have to be at a meeting. And we'd have to have it's difficult. It makes it a little slower, but it also stops the thing that we had where people were calling the attorney daily and questioning.
That was happening?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was extremely expensive. We spent a lot more money than we had budgeted because of that.
On this current attorney?
The past attorneys, I think, more than this current one.
I think
He
it was
wasn't-
just before this one.
Yeah, we had a tremendous amount of legal expenses because of that. And with this employee, attorney being a town employee and I'm under salary, there are limits. He only has a certain amount of time that he is obligated to the town, and then we get charged at, I believe, $2.75 an hour. So it gets really expensive really fast.
Okay, so we have to make sure that whatever we're asking is very important.
Yes, very.
So this
important.
is kind of important. Or else we're gonna have meetings every month, Rick.
Yes, we're right.
That motion passed, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we can ask that of the board to see what we can do.
Yeah, I'm not having a luck pulling up that individual item, but my recollection is that it's spending money and directing staff that the advisory boards can't
It
do.
wasn't just
They
the
need to
attorney.
request it of the board of trustees, which is the only one with the power to do those things.
I do think it makes sense to have, different trainings on subdivisions, minor, major boundary adjustments. That does make sense. Really for what you're looking for, as a planning commissioner, what you're looking for, because most of that work is done by staff ahead of a meeting. But still what you would be looking for is kind of a checklist. And that checklist is in our code.
Well, the thing is, when you have trainings, then the commission understands the importance of what the staff is doing too. I mean, it's just, I think it's good to have. I mean, it's like even with the board, it's like, gosh, I hope they understand the importance of what we're even asking for right here, because if they don't care enough, they'll say, oh no, we don't want to spend any money on that. And that would be a real disappointment. And that would be my fear. It's like, having a basic understanding and knowledge of the functions and the importance of these roles of these bodies is important. Just use important a lot. Okay, did you have another motion to make, Stefan?
No.
Really concentrating on something there.
I've lost it.
Okay. Any more wisdom here from you?
Do we want to set another organizational meeting?
When is the next time the membership is to change?
Where is that in the plan?
Okay, so
that's next month.
we need to have an organization, because, right, we need to choose it's a 1-year term for the chair.
Yeah, what does the town code say on that? Do we have this written down so we know what we're all referring to?
Yeah, so CRS 3123-204 says the term of the organizational rules. The commission shall elect its chairman from among the non-ex officio members and shall create and fill such other of its offices as it may determine. The term of the chairman shall be 1 year with eligibility for reelection.
Okay. And ex officio, that just means the elected officials, or what does ex officio mean? Because our past mayor was the chair of the planning commission and the attorney said that was okay. So that's another.
That was something that was kind of traditional. The mayor had been,
No, the mayor had never been the chair.
well, when Bob Johnson was mayor, he was the chair of the town
back in the
planning and
days.
zoning back in the day. I was part of that.
So we received, so ex officio is actually defined.
holding on.
31-23-203, personnel of the commission. The municipal planning commission referred to in this part two as the commission shall consist of not less than 5 nor more than 7 members, except that a home rule city or town should not be limited to the size of its commission. Unless otherwise provided by ordinance, the membership in terms of members shall be as follows. So unless otherwise provided by ordinance, the membership in terms of members shall be as follows. A, when the commission is limited to 5 members, the membership shall consist of the mayor, a member of the governing body as ex officio members, and 3 persons appointed by the mayor. If the mayor is an elective officer, otherwise by such office as the governing body may designate as the appointing power in the ordinance treaty the commission. B, when the commission consists of so this is us, when the commission consists of 7 or more members, there shall be 4 ex officio members consisting of the mayor, one of the administrative officials selected by the mayor, a member of the governing body selected by the mayor, and a member of the governing body selected by the governing body. The balance of the membership shall be appointed as provided in paragraph A of this subsection. So that's what I had just read.
So you're considered ex officio too.
I'm considered ex officio.
So it looks like you're the chair.
So I think it would probably be Lynn, right?
It can't be anyone else.
Well, it could be Mary,
Could be.
Oh,
very-
right, yeah.
Oh, Mary.
it could.
Well, and the other thing, so I don't know if I'm supposed to ask you or if I'm asking, I'm not sure
You
who
can
I'm
ask
asking, but
everybody.
are you gonna be at the next meeting? Are you running for another term?
Well, would
Or
it be?
what,
Yeah, I guess so.
that's a mayoral,
Yeah, I don't know.
like,
Yeah, I don't know.
because not only do we need to look at electing a chair, but
It's my
potentially filling
term
a
now.
seat.
Is it a 2-year term?
You
Or
were
1
on
year term?
September 25.
So I was appointed 2 years ago, right?
Nah, I don't know anything about that. I'm just
And how
looking at
long
the
are
sheet.
the terms? So I mean, I wouldn't be the chair for sure. You know,
And then
that's obviously. from-
April 26th would be Lynn, Lucy, and Stelter.
And wasn't it something about so is that from when you were appointed, put on the planning commission, the membership, does it go from there? Does it go from the beginning of the appointment, the election of the public body? You see what I'm saying? After the general election? I mean, I'm not talking about the chairship, I'm talking about the membership of the.
Do you have our
planning
code pulled up? Because it does talk about compensation.
That it is.
commission. Yeah, right here.
So because 31-23-203, and I think this is where we had conflicting attorneys' opinions. We had, 2 attorneys ago who said ex officio members were okay to serve as the chair and vice chair. Then that interim attorney we had said, no, that's not the case. And I don't think Attorney Buckner has rendered an opinion yet. But I think where the confusion lies is 31-23-203, the end of the first paragraph says, unless otherwise provided by ordinance, the membership in terms of members shall be as follows. And that's where it talks about ex officio members and that kind of makeup. So if our code says something
We
different,
actually need to look at the ordinance because the code still references the 5-member
Okay.
commission, and I know that was changed by ordinance.
it was changed by ordinance, but
There's a few words.
it hasn't been codified. Okay, so we need to look at the actual ordinance.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't have it on me. Let me see if I can grab my laptop. Oh. It
just hasn't-
passed, it hasn't been put into the code of ordinances yet.
Yeah, that's ordinance, unfortunately, all those ordinances put meeting times as a law, it's part of the ordinance. Meeting time should always be a resolution. Because you don't have to change the law to change the time you're.
You don't have as long a delay to change the
Yeah.
time that way.
Yeah.
That works better.
I'm assuming this last bit probably was not changed by the ordinance, so the town code as it reads says, as terms expire, new or reappointed members shall be appointed for 2-year terms of office at such time as the terms of those previously appointed expire.
What section of the ordinance is that?
So that's that's town code, that's 2630.
260. We used to have it on like our website, we list who are the members and when their terms expired.
That's still.
That was really helpful. I don't think the planning commission has that. on the website. It would be nice to, we can look at that. I think the board members might have that, but I don't know about planning commission.
It might be just under the whole town.
Yeah, right here.
I think it is.
Yeah. So right here, list the commission members and when the terms are up.
Awesome. Do you have that?
I can't remember.
I don't have it. She just.
We called it.
Would you pull it up on your ordinance?
I'm assuming
So
it's right.
I just went to the main page and then,
Oh, the main town page?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was 2024-04.
oh, not ordinances, just the main.
Was that ordinance?
2024
404.
is the new PC ordinance.
Mhm.
Great.
Section 2630, the planning commission shall consist of 7 members, all of whom must be residents of the town, including 4 ex officio members consisting of the mayor and 1 member of the board of trustees appointed by the mayor, 1 administrative member appointed by the mayor, and 1 member of the governing body chosen by the governing body as provided for in CRS 3123-203 1B. The remaining 3 members shall be appointed by the mayor. The terms of such 3 members shall be fixed and designated by the mayor to end at 2 years from the last municipal election at the time of appointment, with the terms of office staggered. The terms for the mayor and the member of the board of trustees shall continue until their successors are duly elected and qualified, at which time elected members of the board shall be designated to serve on the planning commission for terms coincident with their terms of office as mayor or as member of the board of trustees. The term of the administrative member shall be fixed and designated by the mayor to end at 2 years past appointment. As terms expire, new or reappointed members shall be appointed for 2-year terms of office at such time as the terms of those previously appointed expire. The only thing that got changed in there was the term of the administrative member shall be fixed and designated by the mayor to end at 2 years past appointment. That was an underline.
So, this is I'm kind of sidetracking a little bit here. But I've always wondered, what does terms of office staggered mean? To me, it means that all the planning commission members shouldn't be appointed under one administration, basically, under one mayorship. So it's like to.
So we have a mayor that has a 4-year term, right? And we have 2-year planning commission terms. So it would make sense that you would have people appointed, same mayor, for 2-year terms, and then there'd be another set for another 2-year terms at staggered time.
So it's like every year, 2 new people come off, 2 people
So
go
you
on.
don't have,
So we don't
So you
turn
don't
over.
have
A full turnover of planning commission.
Yeah. And do we have that set up the way we're set up right now? Have
Yeah,
we-
so terms expire April 28, 2 and April 26, yours September 25, December 27, April 26, January 27.
Okay, so here's where our ordinance differs from the code. Section 2640, appointments of officers. The commission shall elect its chair and vice chair from among its membership and create and fill such others of its offices as it may determine. The term of each office of such as office, including that of the chair, shall be for 2 years. Then what was stricken was the commission may hold at least 1 regular meeting each month and shall adopt rules for transaction of business and shall keep a record of its resolutions, transactions, findings, and determinations, which record shall be public. I think that was removed from there because the section was specific to appointment of officers. And it doesn't make sense to have that, because there it is. Then under section 2660, conduct of meetings and commission members voting, it talks about like what we're supposed to do. I'm gonna print this off.
So I actually have a question. Wasn't I put on to replace somebody else? Wasn't someone leaving the planning commission and there was an opening? Or do we have these appointments just coming up arbitrarily throughout the year, depending on when somebody?
I don't think they were arbitrary. I think it followed
Or is
a
it like
very set
April?
pattern.
Is it like April?
that's because
And so.
our terms are our terms of office
Yeah.
end in April.
So
So
I'm,
they don't keep us on beyond that because, well, I'm
Oh, yeah,
term
'cause-
limited.
so I was wondering, was I serving out someone else's term? Is what
I have no idea.
I
You
think-
see what I'm
I think
saying
so,
in the cases of
because,
resignation?
Dave Knudsen recommended you because somebody was leaving and I can't remember.
So I mean, these are kind of little mechanics, I just wanna make sure that we have it right, so it goes smoothly and we kind of, I don't know if that's another lawyer question. You know, to make sure that we do. Because it almost seemed like the planning commissions get kind of put on after elections.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
almost always.
yeah,
But
and
the
it's
thing is too, that
staggered
having staggered terms means that the entire
every 2 years.
planning and zoning board does not change all at once. It's best if it changes gradually over the year or
Really?
years, the 2-year terms.
How can you have a staggered term if you don't have, if the board terms are basically 2 years,
2 and 4.
2 and 4? It would seem like you really can't have staggered terms because the same board is gonna be appointing people this year and then the following year. And then a new board comes on and they appoint someone in the following year. So I just wanna make sure things are making sense.
That doesn't make, what you just explained isn't how it works, right?
Okay.
Because it's not like every election cycle, the entire board changes over, right? And so you're still gonna have some carry on.
Yeah,
And everybody has, I think board trustees have 4-year terms, right?
4 and 2.
4 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I don't see how the staggered isn't, well, where on the website is expiration of terms? Where do we have that?
So if you go to the main page.
Yep.
And then you click on board, not the agendas, but the town staff and board and commission
Oh,
members.
it's the yellow button.
And then you have to scroll down and hit the tab for planning commission.
Okay, I see. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'm just, yeah, if you see it down there, planning commission.
I see it.
Okay, so like, for example, with town trustees, Mayor Smith, her term ends April 2028. Her term also ends April 2028 on the planning commission. Trustee Hunter's term ends April 26th on the board of trustees. Her term ends on the planning commission April 26th.
28 and 26, so those are two, like, okay, 28, 26.
It looks like,
And 27,
So Mary Bacher, if she got on in January, it's only because January is the date that the ordinance changed, so she got on, but it's a little weird to have this kind of, it's not like a regular, like a predictable time that a term should start and end, so it becomes a little arbitrary with these other positions, and that's what I
but
guess
to
that's
call it
the question.
arbitrary would say, calling it arbitrary would say that there is no ordinance or guiding legal document that has established those two positions, and that's not true. It isn't arbitrary, it is set up through a legal document. That ordinance 2024-04 established these new positions, which was myself as an administrative ex officio,
Yeah.
and this third, not ex officio, but third member of the planning commission. And that's why our terms are different from the other ones that were established. It's not
So it's
arbitrary,
historical.
it is now set up by legal documents.
So
So,
it's kind of historical, just because that's when the legal document went into effect.
well, so here's an example. The only term listed right now, so it looks like the next expiration dates are gonna be 27 or 28. So aside from yours, right, once yours expires, and yours expires,
Right.
those next board members that are put on this commission, their terms will expire in 28, which comports with what everyone else is going by. Yours, Chair Watson, is at 25, but whoever comes on next, or if you seek to be reappointed to this position, it would expire in 27. And then everybody's kind of lined up then, right? So it's,
So what happens when people resign from a planning commission? Does a new chair, does a new person's membership start the day the former member resigned, or do you do like the Board of Trustees, your membership is good till the next, like, election, and then you get reappointed? So it's just from,
Fills out the term.
yeah, you fill out a term. So are you filling out a term and then getting reappointed? Or are you just, does a new membership start on that day that you get appointed for 2 years?
No, it would be filling out a
Fills the
term.
term.
Yeah,
And then it's 2 years that way. So it will stagger throughout the year and we're not gonna, well, we have 3 that are may get off the board, the planning and zoning board, myself for certain, because I'm term limited. And that will, it's gonna have to shift. You may have to shift this to make it stay uniform throughout the year. And that's the big thing. We just don't wanna have 4 members gone all at once. That's
Yeah, I hear you.
that disrupts everything.
I hear you.
And it's hard to get people to serve on.
So I'm wondering, was I on there too long? Was I supposed to just fill out someone's term? You know? Because I replaced somebody.
you
who
did,
resigned.
you did, and
Was I on there longer than I needed to be?
I'll be honest with you, I asked the question. I asked the question to our clerk because I thought it was over in April, and she had let us know that it was through September.
Oh, Steve Plissette.
I think that's whose term.
He was the chair at one point, wasn't he?
Steve Cassar.
Plissette.
No,
Plissette.
Plissette, the roof of the,
He was on the ZBOA as well.
no,
No, Peter took his,
Peter took
Peter took
his.
his.
Right.
That's right.
but you took
And who took
somebody
Peter's? Who took Pete's? Mary Bachman. No,
Mary, yeah.
Mary?
Yeah.
Yes, because he wasn't an ex officio.
Okay.
He was a planning commissioner.
I remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't
forget
remember
who
who
you
you
trust.
So,
replaced.
so when did Pete's term end? Is Mary filling out the rest of Pete's term and then she has to be reappointed?
Hang on, let me see. if
And I think things have have been sloppy in the past, and I mean, maybe not, but I just want to make sure that we understand the formula there.
That's how I got on the board the first time, was I filled out a term. Somebody got on the board and then almost immediately moved out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like within a month. So that's.
Well,
why-
this shows Commissioner Bachran's term ending December 27th, so she's filling out
Right,
the rest of.
And so I just went to the clerk log from 2024, and it says Chair Suzanne Watson, April of 2025 is when the term should have ended. But then when I go to the 2025 clerk log, which is the one that we're operating off of, let's see what it says. It says September of 25, and it says end term corrected, the note that says end term corrected after research.
But I don't think Mary Bachman's term should end in December, because that's not filling out Pete's term. His didn't start in December, did
But
it?
it's less than 2 years, so it's,
So she gets to fill out the rest of someone's term and then you get reappointed?
Well, she
Or-
can apply.
Does it so?
You don't get-
Start with.
Let me see if 24, if I have.
It's like we almost have to do like a little spreadsheet thing.
Okay, it says he resigned 12/2 of 2024. And that was April, and his term was supposed to end April of 28.
See, so April to me was the one that made sense. So Stefan, you might have actually been right. And that's where I think it would be really interesting to hear how the attorney figures it all.
Yeah, because now it says
Because it's.
December of 20, so, okay, so this doesn't make any sense. It says it should have ended April 28th, that was Pete's seat. And then, so that's where Mary filled.
Right.
And then where Mary is, it says her term ends December 27th, that should be December 28th,
Yeah.
Yes.
or 2028.
2028.
I will need to confer with the clerk. Actually, I've got a motion. Okay. I move to confirm appointment dates and term ending dates for the planning commission.
I'll second that.
question. Can we do that, or is that not to be a stickler, but is that something we need to send to the board because we can't direct staff?
Yeah.
It is.
So
I think that would be a good board discussion,
it would be,
and then it would be in the public too.
because these two documents conflict with each other, and it's two separate years.
I withdraw my second. Motion
Okay,
dies for lack of a second.
Okay. I move to ask the Board of Trustees to confirm term beginning dates and term ending dates for the Planning Commission with the clerk.
Discussion with the clerk. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Well, I think that's just been very productive, actually.
I do too. Because mine says it ends January of 27, which doesn't comport with anything else. So we need to confirm
It
this.
just seems that you have truly staggering terms, they should all kind of start, these three should start this year, these three. You know, it would be very consistent instead of just saying, well, just step and started on this day, that term now. And even though you said it was law, it just, there's something that needs to be a little bit more, I don't know, methodical about it, let's say. Like, there needs to be a method
Well, at this point,
that kind
April
of,
seems to be the date, pretty much.
yeah.
It's 4 out of the,
Or after like a month, even if it's, I mean, it just seems, I always think that when appointments happen, they usually happen after an
And
election.
it's the same month,
Yeah,
right? It's always might be a different year, but it's a consistent month.
yeah,
Which, looking between the two,
Where you
from 24 and 25, in 24, everything's April. In 25, it says September, December, January, April.
yeah, so I think your methodology there, Steph, I think you were actually correct the way, because it makes sense, and it's something that's kind of predictable and can be planned for instead of like, that, I didn't mean to say arbitrary, but you know what I mean, it's like predictable and it's very, I don't know, there's like structure and
where
format.
this comes apart is when people resign
Yeah,
and you fill out the term. It kind of comes apart because
well, we need to figure out how that looks and how that works to make sure that it always,
that's that's the town board's policy.
well, I mean, when the town board member resigns, the person who fills out fills it out till the end of that term. And I guess I can mess up with the stagger, I don't know. No,
It
it wouldn't.
does. It screws up the stagger too, because you have to, when you have, it's the lowest vote getter has the 2-year term. And
But what I'm thinking, where it does mess with the stagger is our code, this new 2024-04 says that the board member fills out in the planning commission to the duration of their board of trustees term.
yeah,
And so if, let's say, you were,
I'm 26.
yeah, you were, let's say you were like trustee Check, and you got appointed, and then, how do I put this? Trustee Check's term ends in 28, right? And so if you resigned and left, and trustee Check got appointed, that now planning commission term goes to 28 instead of 26, because that's what our code says. But the month should stay the same.
Yeah,
I think that's the big piece here that's kind of strange. The month should stay
I
the same.
totally agree with you, Stefan,
And I could see having it in April as the month, because when that's the election month. But what it does mean that the person who gets elected to the mayor has a full year before they can appoint somebody, if we're gonna appoint them in April. That really kind of screws things up. And other than to fill out a term,
wait a minute,
They don't
the mayor doesn't get appointment, they are on the planning commission by
No.
code now, aren't they?
the mayor gets on automatically, but people are reappointed by the mayor. You serve at the
Well, but
pleasure of the mayor.
So it's almost a stagger.
it is, it is.
It's a-
And because what it makes sense, yes, that new mayor does not get to appoint until that term ends, right?
So that
Until-
makes sense almost.
That's
It's
the way-
kind of like
that's the way it
there's
ought
a
to be.
little flow through that happens, so it's not like an abrupt change.
We don't want abrupt change.
Yeah.
No, we.
Okay,
Right. So we have this, we've made 2 motions now to kind of clean this up,
yeah,
so.
great.
That'll take care of that.
I think that was fairly productive. believe it or not. We didn't plan for that, but, okay. Does anybody have anything else, any concerns, any points they want to bring up? Other than that, okay.
As a possible thing coming in either September or October, there most likely will be a rezoning application coming.
And the first meeting's the 1st of September.
There's no way they're gonna make that. Yeah, they had got it in like last week.
It'll be October then. That will be the 6th.
I'm trying to mention that I won't be here on October 6th.
I may not be here on September. That's my months.
So October is probably, there's no way that they're meeting with staff tomorrow to discuss stuff. There's no way they're gonna have that application in time. So most likely to be October or November then at this point.
I'll be at a Conan Gray concert.
You'll be at a what concert?
If my daughter's watching, I'll be at a Conan Gray concert. It's my daughter's choice.
That's okay. That's all right. Okay.
Okay. So at this point, we're planning on having a regularly scheduled meeting, or is it gonna kind of be dependent on what? Well, we have some questions, obviously, that we're gonna be in the town board meeting of the attorney, and then we also have this discussion. Is this gonna be on the next, not this coming week, is it? Or how quickly do you think this is gonna be on the agenda for the Board of Trustees? Our questions in this discussion.
Mayor Smith's decision. What goes on the agenda?
Is it getting full for the next meeting? Okay, you don't know.
I can hold up here.
It's kind of important.
It's kind of cheating, but I can.
I've not seen
It
it yet.
depends on what the lawyer
Oh, yeah.
gets back to us on that first
Yeah.
question about meeting times.
None of these seem like, so there's only 5 agenda items. I don't see why questions from the planning commission should take any longer than our next meeting.
So it's interesting because since both you and Mary filled new positions and Rick Stelter, that kind of started in January. Maybe they should have continued until April and then an official reappointment to establish that start date should happen. You know, and I suppose
Well, the only,
it doesn't, you know what I mean, but that has to be cleaned up. So in the future,
the only thing is that terms will have to have the non-ex officio members. Their terms will have to be staggered. Ours are at the end of the term.
I'm sure other towns have dealt with this, and there's
It's
gotta be
not
a
that
formula or
complex.
a way to do it.
So as the statute says, it says that 3123-203, the municipal planning commission referred to in this part 2 as the commission shall consist of not less than 5 nor more than 7 members, except that a home rule city or town shall not be limited in the size of its commission. And so, and then that next sentence is, unless otherwise provided by ordinance, the membership in terms of members shall be as follows. And so if you're a home rule community or you've established another ordinance, it could be all over the place.
You know, it's interesting because in the 90s, we had a planning commission that was 15 people.
Yes.
And there are people that didn't live in town that were on that
Yes.
commission too. And then all of a sudden, they had this emergency ordinance to bring the planning commission more in line with state statute. And I don't think they were breaking the law because they had an ordinance that allowed them to do that. But then all of a sudden, they seemed to think that they wanted to change it right back to what are the statutory towns.
So I've seen both. I've seen where it's only residents of the town, which is similar to here. But I've also seen where Indiana's strange. They actually have codified it where if you exercise your extra jurisdictional territory, so what we call our growth management area, you must have a member of the 2 major political parties outside of town limits within that growth management area on the planning commission. And they specify it must be the two major parties, as like the last, primary election, determined. It's, yep,
That whole that would be interesting to allow people from the growth management area on the planning commission, but that's a future discussion. Okay. So are we ready to adjourn?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's adjourn the meeting.
so we'll put these questions on the agenda for Tuesday. Thank you.
Yeah, that's watching. Apparently I got cheers from Michigan Code and Gray.
Really?
Did she know?
Oh,
Did she know you were going?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not cheers that you
She's
remember.
She's the chief planner in that.
Thank you.
that was kind of surprising.